Okay, so another one of these videos. This one we're going to cover 4 controls and 5 length. If you're not doing Shuai Chiao, or you are doing Shuai Chiao, or you take some other martial art and you want to learn some throws, you got to learn that. If you look at it, you're going to learn the name of this one, and this one. This is how this works. This is how this works. It can get kind of complicated. So I'm not trying to take away from Shuai Chiao, but I'm trying to kind of condense it a little bit so it makes it a little easier to maybe understand for somebody and give them some working tools to work with. And so if you work this thing, you've got close to 20 throws with just knowing 4 different controls and 5 different ways to utilize the legs. So we're going to start just by kind of going over what they are. So the 4 controls, these will be considered body throws. So we've got around the waist, and there's all kind of ways to work this position, right? We have under the arm, this kind of stuff, right? We also have over the arm, right? These kind of throws, and then we have around the waist. Okay, so those 4 positions. So if you say you do some kind of mixed martial art as such, right, and you want to add some throws to your package of stuff. If you just think of these 4 controls, just like if you were doing on the ground and you're thinking about positions, mount, guard, side mount, north, south, like that. If you think like that, it'll make it easy. And the 5 legs that we're going to do are lifting, blocking, tripping, driving, and popping. Right? So instead of me having all different kind of names for it, just very simplified. Again, lifting. The lifting is more like this type of action. Lifting, blocking is driving down. Tripping is more of me extending the leg like this. Driving is me using the hold of my hip and both of my legs. And then popping is me utilizing the calf, the ankle, and the knee in which to drive force up. This works great against a shorter person or a more heavy set person. So out of these 4 controls and 5 legs, they won't all work with all of these different things. Okay? A couple of them won't. And we're going to discuss that and then why. And we're going to look at the different controls and some of the movements, but we're going to primarily focus on the waist. Reason being, it's a little easier to work with, especially if you're new, or if you're trying to use with a partner, or if you just got a friend and you're watching this video and you want to kind of learn the pieces. So, anyway, we're going to start. So let's look at the different controls, right? And you could do this from the outside and slip in, or you could do it from the opposing side and slip the body across. All of that stuff is great, right? Different ways to get the head. I can do it this way or this way. I can have it this way. Again, different types of grips and controls. When you're playing around with this stuff, some of this stuff will just come naturally, right? Hands like this, or can I do this and I can get the leg maneuver off. So let's look at the lifting, right? So say I have this waist, and I'm going to try to put my foot in the middle like this, and I will lift the leg. If you have an arm, that's great. If he's wearing a jacket, you could control the jacket. Back here, you could have his belt. If you were doing something like sanda or something where you have a glove on, you could grab. If you're on the street, you could grab the person's arm, of course, or if they had on a jacket, you could grab that. And I'm going to lift the leg. Stay with me. So if I'm here like this, I'm just going to lift. Right? I'm going to lift. Now, we can get this complicated and think as I lift, I twist my core and magnify it and all that. So, but right now, just think I'm going to lift. Right? The blocking, right? So when you say blocking, it kind of makes sense, right? I'm kind of blocking something, I'm impeding the path, right? But in reality, it's kind of like striking something, right? I'm kind of striking down. With this piece, I want to be very careful of his knee, right? So if I do this action, I don't want to go like this. Potentially, I can hyperextend his knee I actually kind of want to, if you see how my knee is pointing this way, I'm going to kind of go down at an angle so I scoop his leg under, right? So if I was here, I lift it up, I'm going to kick it out this way. Again, if I do it this way, you can do it, but there's a big possibility you may hurt your training partner. We don't want to do that. Again, we're going to go through this in more detail. The tripping. The tripping is kind of like a combination of those two moves, right? So again, if I was going to attack the outside leg, I'm going to be in the middle of these two legs, and this leg is going to extend out way out like this. So I'm going to strike down, and then my leg is going to be extended, and I would twist. So it would be this type of action, right? So I'm driving out, I block him off, and it's very hard for him to escape the action. Some people are really good at this move. Then we have driving. And driving, again, is just like both of my legs, like a piston action, right? You can say hip throw for this, and then you could utilize this name and this name, but really it's a grip and how I'm using the legs, right? We'll go back to the hip throw piece again, and I'm here, and look, I want to keep my legs like this, and I want to be under his waist, and I'm going to lift. Stay there. So I'm going to lift him, right? I kind of keep the balance point here. I would practice with a partner just this, just like I'm doing with Zach here, right? I'm having him on my back and lift and keeping it, right? Practice this to kind of strengthen it, also get better at your stability and your balance and all of that. And then we have popping. And popping, it's kind of like this, right? Say you're in a track and field, right? And your feet are in the blocks. Kind of have that action, right? So I kind of have some contraction here, kind of tight. We've got the ankle and the knee. And this is primarily what's going to do this, right? See how I extend it? And again, if say Zach was shorter, or I'm like 158 right now, maybe. How much you Zach?
145.
Okay, so we're within 10 pounds or so each other. I'm talking about somebody that's 50, 60, 70 pounds bigger than you, and you want to hoist them over your hip. This will give you a little advantage, especially if they're shorter and they're heavier. If they're taller, you can still potentially use this action. I would practice it, but you can probably just utilize the hip onto itself. But a lot of times if he was, so this is his waistline. If his waistline was here, and I had to get underneath this, plus he's got 60 pounds of mass on me. It would be kind of hard to get the momentum going. And this kind of explosive action kind of helps to kind of pop him off the ground, right? Kind of take his root away so I can hoist him over me, right? So if I do it from this side, my left, right, I'm going to make a nice tight connection, and then I just pop, again, ankle and knee. See? In reality, I don't have to use a lot of effort, but I need to have this tight connection here. Okay, so anyway, so those are the 5 ways to use the leg, the 5 controls of it. Now we're going to kind of dig into it a little bit. So let's look at, first off, we'll look at under the arm. So let's this side. So there's more than one way under the arm. You can come up with them, or you can look at them. This is a good one here. Some people don't like this because it's easy to counter with the neck. Throwing the person this way. Some people don't like the full-on throw right off the bat. I think this is a good one to start with. This control. Now, with this one, I can do popping, right, to hoist him over. I can do like lifting. I can do locking. Okay. I can do tripping. All 5 of the actions, right? Except for this. The problem is that the action is short. I can still get it off, but then I'm going to have to use more of my upper body to try to hoist that the rest of the way over. It's kind of, in other words, the action is short. You could potentially use it, but you're not going to get the same results as if you're using the other 4 actions of the leg. So I would avoid that. You can try it for yourself and see what I'm talking about. And so if Zach chooses to move on me and goes for under my arm and say he does the lift. Yeah. Right? Or he does blocking.
Straight.
Yeah.
Straight.
Right? Or he does trip.
So I got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Then he tries to pop. Right? But if he tries to do both legs like he's doing drilling or driving, it works, right? So, any questions about that? We'll go over it more deep. We're going to do a couple of those with the mat. So, we start from here. So, just because it's easier for the throw, I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to step in, and I'm going to do trick. Okay?
Step in, we're doing under.
Just under.
Under.
Yeah.
And trip in.
So, again here. Under the arm. Yeah, here.
Oh.
It's easier for people first.
And.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at around the neck, right? So we said we could do leg lifting, leg blocking, and tripping, and we can set up popping to do leg blocking and leg lifting, but the driving is not as easy, right? So again, I'm here, and if I try to drag him over, I can still do it, but I'm going to end up using my upper body to kind of drag him over me. Now all I'm going to do, just to give an example, I kind of have to pull him over my back. I don't want to do that so much. Versus when I do something like leg lifting, very easy to lift the guy over. I'm using the power of my core, and I'm just guiding him with my upper body, right? He does it to me. What's your leg lifting? Next around it? Yeah. So again, we'll do it this time, and we're going to do it with the blocking, right? So here. Okay. Now, we do it for tripping. So come in, explode in, kick the leg back. Okay. Now, let's look at the waist again, right? So again, the waist, I can be here and lift, pull, right? Easy move to do. I can do it with blocking. Back to the knee.
Blocking was.
Get back now. We do it with popping, right? Pop and a lift. Bind them together. So then we have a round arm. There's not a lot of pieces with a round arm as much It's not as versatile, you could say, but the core piece is this way, right? So say, you know, the guy's got a hold of you or something. If you can break through and pull the arm in, you're in a good spot. And there is leg linking to the inside, this way. Yeah. Or I can do it from the outside. If I do it from the outside like this, there is a name for it, but look, it's over the arm, and I'm going to do leg lift. Okay. So now we got horizontal throw. Instead of having, again, a whole bunch of names and that you don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, just 5 ways to do the leg and 4 controls. And just to make this real clear, it's so much easier to remember that than say 20 different throws, right? And again, I'm going to kind of clarify it one more time. So we've got around the neck, we've got around the waist, we've got under the arm, and we've got over the arm. And then we have 5 ways to use the leg, right? We have popping, we have driving, lifting, blocking, and tripping. All right. All right, so that'll do it.